write large papers, and this past school year, I got tired of handling 800 to 900 pages of text. And so, through Blackboard, I challenged myself to start grading these papers through various types of readers. Last year at the Tech Edge conference, a person introduced me to iAnnotate, and I worked with that for 2 courses, and then worked with some other readers. And that's what I'd like to share with you today for about 10 minutes, and allow a couple minutes for questions and answers and feedback from you on the various ways of doing this. Now, I've given you 3 different examples. There's also in Google Docs the same handout. But what I'd like to start with is what I would call the cheap to the expensive. And that would be, first of all, an Adobe Reader that way. Now, what we're going to look at here is a PDF document, and it's immigrants, and it's a document that we as a class will be looking at this fall in Ministering in a Changing World. This is obviously a paper type booklet, but the advantage of using the PDF is that since it is public domain through the church's website, students have access to this. They can download this to their iPad, computer, and have access to it. Where the PDF reader comes into play is, as you would think about reading it, with a yellow marker and some paper tabs. Here in the reader, you can start to work with it in various ways. And just like you would turn a page, with the book in hand, you can also work with it through the Adobe Reader. Now, the thing with Adobe, it is a little bit limited, but hey, it's free, okay? So if you're just starting out working with PDF readers, I would encourage you to think about Adobe. Now, there are some price pieces there listed, and as you'll see, that gets to be a little expensive if you're going to use Adobe Reader with some of those other monthly costs attached. That's where I think the advantage comes in with the other 2 PDF readers. But for instance, you can highlight, you have various text, different fonts to approach there. But again, just as you would underline, bookmark, you have these opportunities to use that in Adobe Reader. Now I'll go to the second one, and as we go out of it, you can see the second one is PDF Expert. Now this one, again, is a little bit more sophisticated. It's a $9.99 app, one-time purchase, and it gives you a little bit more flexibility, especially when you're working with the cloud and network types of settings. And so for my use, I have the 3 servers there listed there. One is Dropbox, the other one is WebDAV, which is used in Concordia, Drive or Google Docs, as we would know that. But this gives you access now to a network connection, whereas in Adobe, you don't have quite as much freedom that way. The other advantage to this PDF reader is you can see the variety of documents available to you. You have Excel spreadsheets, you have Word documents, and you have PDF booklets such as, again, Immigrants Among Us, as well as PowerPoints, as well as other text. One of the other articles we're going to be looking at in this class this fall is, again, a downloadable journal article that pulled right off of Atlas and other journal search engines. And again, just like in a PDF, you can mark it and you can use a variety of different techniques. And again, as you know, this one has a little bit more capability to it as opposed to Adobe Reader. I have not had any problems with this app crashing or unable to be slow in its accessing of the PDF. Sometimes if you have a lot of images, text, and PDFs, it will take some time for it to download it onto the screen, but as you can see, it's very quick. And again, it's the advantage of that type of reader. Nice feature to this one is that as you're working with various documents, it gives you a recent tab, which gives you, again, the points of when you were looking at those articles. and your ability to pull that up to review again. Which leads us to the third one, and that is I annotated. This one was fairly new last year, and again, I fell in love with it as I started working with it. And again, like the PDF Expert, this also has a connection to it. And so again, you can have various opportunities. Some PDF readers have more networks than others. I only gave you sort of a sample there, so you have to explore for yourself. And depending upon accessibility to the cloud servers, might dictate which one you want to work with. But for my purposes with iAnnotate, I want to show you a couple things that are distinctly unique. For instance, when we have visit day on campus, one thing that I like to share with families who visit the religion and theology table is the handbook and the various things that are available. So instead of paper and the tabs, I go straight to the catalog. This is our catalog for this upcoming year. And as you can see, I can bookmark and identify page numbers and flip right to the page. So if I have a family and a student who's interested in pre-deaconess ministry, I can go straight to the pre-deaconess page, talk about the courses. Well, what are those courses? Well, again, I can just keep scrolling to the point in which here are course descriptions. And it's a very clean, quick way to talk to families about the various programs. And so iAnnotate, I believe, is probably the most powerful of the three. And it kind of depends upon what you want to have or your use for it. Now, the other interesting feature about iAnnotate is, say a student doesn't have the ability to convert a Word document into a PDF reader, great, no problem. iAnnotate allows you to download the document. So for instance, this is an exegetical study, somewhere between 20 to 30 pages, 25 to 30 pages long. She submits the document in Word and say, I want to start, make a note of it. Now it's going to ask me to connect it as a PDF. I hit OK, it'll process, and as I start working with it, now it's in a PDF fashion. I mark it up, grade it. Interesting thing, you can customize your toolbars. So I have 3 different styles, if you will. And then as I go back, I can start to scroll backwards or forwards. I can highlight text. Okay. I can use that, but it becomes a very functional idea. When I want to make a note and type it, I type it into the box here, and it'll automatically go back, it'll go to an end note. And so the end note would be whatever page number this is, and if this is the first note of page 35, on that last page, they'll have typed out my comments about that particular section, which is nice because if I write a lot, I run out of room on the margins. Okay, and so this allows the student to go to the end of the document and look at the comments that were stated there. And typically when it's printed off in a PDF like this, they will see that sort of cue to know to go at the end. When I'm done grading it, I flatten it, send it to the student's email. They can receive that paper at whatever time of day I'm grading it. So it's instant feedback that way. Okay. So that's PDF readers in a real quick summary fashion. A couple minutes for questions. We're also trying to allow for time for general questions at the end too. So, any initial questions?
So you just don't download from Dropbox?
Correct.
So the students can send you the message to Dropbox, transfer over.
Correct. The only one that does not work with Dropbox is Adobe Reader. You have to take a couple more steps to make that happen. But if you're using Blackboard and you submit the paper and the students submit the papers in Blackboard, go into Blackboard and you'll see a download function that'll take it straight to wherever you want to, and then you can put it into your readers just like that. Now I understand Blackboard has a new function of grading in that. I have not looked at that. Again, it kind of depends. For me, if I'm traveling and going on the weekends, I have the students work with me on the iPad. With the computer, I would have it, but I'd have to lug the computer with me. So there are advantages, disadvantages, and just the style of English, the way you grade too.